Hello, my name is Shirley Self, and I'm here to talk astrology. And today I wanted to talk about Haiti. Haiti, this horoscope is of 1st of January in 1804. This was the government set up following a slave revolt that freed Haiti, the people of Haiti, from the French, sorta. Let's face it, Haiti has been a disaster area since December 6th, 1492, when Columbus landed there. And immediately it became a land of murder, mayhem, slavery, and rapine, and the usual colonization by, this time by Spain, and then France. And then the United States was in Haiti trying to settle it down. Woodrow Wilson sent in the Marines, and they were there from 1915 until 1934, to no avail. Haiti has never had good governance, ever, never, ever. Now, the United States has the sun, Saturn square, and we can see that about the war about whether a government is any good or not, ours in particular. Well, Haiti has this sun, Saturn square also, and it's a Chiron Saturn square and a Mars Saturn square. So that tends to, well, I have a Sun Saturn square, and it is ego-centered selfishness, self-centeredness. And so this is what their government, our government, ego-centered selfishness, and government of Haiti, ego-centered selfishness. The sun rules the south node down here in the fifth house. Notice that the planets in the fifth house, is the house of the child, and your fifth house is where your child likes to play. It's a house of children and creativity, but you put a moon in the fifth house, and it wants to be the child in the situation. So, the sun there also means that I want to play, I don't want to have responsibilities. That's an issue about the fifth house, is it tends to be on the side of irresponsibility. So this moon in Virgo is the leading planet in this bowl. This is a perfect bowl. And a thing about a bowl is it's self-contained, and it has an urge to fulfill a mission. That urge will be guided by this moon in Virgo, which wants to clean things up, which wants to work. A moon in Virgo is a hard-working moon, because that's what it likes to do. It wants to bring people to health, and the land to health, and the government to health. The government has never been healthy. The sun and this moon opposes Pluto, and so this Pluto is kind of the wanton destruction that goes on because nobody's in charge. The government is strongly, powerfully childlike, and just wants to have a good time. In my lifetime, Papa Doc Duvalier ran Haiti for years and years and years, and this he kept the people under control by using voodoo and the boogeyman, the tonton macutes, to keep the people in line and to keep them terrified. And he was followed by his son, Baby Doc, who more fit this this fifth house playboy image. the government has, it seems to me that there was one who actually tried and failed to be a good governor and president. That was Aristide, I think. I don't know how you pronounce it, but didn't last long. The problem, and it's a big problem, and I point to the Chiron right there. Now the sun is conjunct the Mars, you know, it's 10 degrees and 3 degrees. And a Sun-Mars conjunction is a powerhouse. And this chart is a powerhouse anyway. It's got 5 cardinal planets. It's a juggernaut. It's also moon phase 19, the power phase in the air quarter. A moon phase 19. The thing about a moon phase 19 is they're becoming responsible for the government. The air quarter has to do with governance, and so you get a lot of politicians in the air quarter. And so one of the things that's a moon phase 18 and 19 have to do, and remember they're the initiation phases, are very difficult because they have to give up that old ideal of this is the way I want my life to be. I want the house with the white picket fence and whatever, you know. You have to give up those ideals and deal with reality. And the moon phase 18 and 19 have an obligation to turn their energies toward the common good and to give up those pursuits that are, you know, just self-interest. Which is going to be hard because the South Node's down there in the house of have a good time. So you put the Chiron down in there, and it turns a juggernaut into a sad tale. The Chiron in Capricorn is Chiron in Capricorn means that you're lacking in personal authority. You lack respect. You don't have the respect of your peers. And this is a government. And so the peers of this government are other governments. And so in the community of nations, this nation is a pariah. When it was born, this government horoscope was born in 1804, there were slaves in the United States. I don't know if there's still slaves in England, but slavery was very common across the world. And so it was, people were just horrified that slaves could successfully rebel and set up their own government. So they made sure that they failed. They made sure they couldn't do it right. And so what this government really wants is respect. But mostly they just want to have a good time. The people that run this government are incompetent. They're in it for their own well-being, their own money. It's more than well-being. It's greed. It's greed and power. And that has to do with this issue. This is a power issue right here. And the Pluto here, virtually, you know, it's on the cusp of the 12th house here. It's saying that we're sorry, we don't have time to do the right thing. We're too busy spending our money on fast cars. So, so you get the Chiron there in this powerhouse, and no respect, and that's what the Sun in Capricorn really wants, is respect, honor. And the government, of course, they haven't deserved it, but right off of the bat, because of black people asserting themselves in a time when the world was terrified that their slaves would revolt. The United States made sure that we did not educate our slaves. The problem in Haiti was there were very educated black people there, black people who could think, had been taught to think, and these people led the rebellion. So the states in the south of the United States didn't allow their people to learn to read. It was against the law to teach them to read, to teach their black people to read, their slaves. So this Saturn has got no good aspects to it. This Mercury and this Uranus are also square, and notice they have no good aspects to them. The Mercury is 5 degrees away from the Venus, you know, so that's a nice conjunction and should make you a real sweet person. But it's square the Uranus, and one of the things that does, a Mercury square Uranus. Now, my husband has this, and he was the outlier in his family. He was the one that, it's not that he didn't fit in, it's just that the one that was different. And so that's what this Mercury square Uranus will do. It will separate you from your siblings, your peers. So we've got another separative aspect there. This one is also separative. There is nothing here that can help this country to join the community of nations, even though the community of nations is more accepting, a little more accepting now than it was in 1804. The Chiron there, it's up to the people of Haiti, it's up for the government of Haiti to make the change, to quit indulging themselves and become competent, at least attempt to become competent at ruling their country, at guiding their country, at making sure that the people in their country their health and well-being. This is what that's about, that moon, the leading moon. The Chiron is just very difficult there. It's aggressive. It shows the aggressive nature of these, the government of Haiti, to their own people, to their own people. The Chiron sextile Jupiter gives an ability to manipulate people, to control and manipulate other people. And it can become unhinged from reality a little bit. Live in your own little world, which I think Papa Doc definitely did. The planets that say rule storms, the weather, earthquakes, slavery, are all afflicted in here. So slavery is ruled by Saturn and Neptune. Now the Neptune isn't afflicted here, but the Saturn is. The Uranus rules, here it is, Uranus rules storms and earthquakes. And you look at the Pluto ruling earthquakes, and it's in opposition to the moon in Virgo, and Virgo is movable earth. So I'm thinking that this might also indicate the fault line that that Haiti sits on. And this is the storms that Haiti is afflicted with. What you're hearing is my husband's new clock. He's going deaf, but he loves this new clock. At night, I turn it off, and have to then turn it back on in the morning. You can turn off the chiming and the dinging. It's actually, I like the music, but it's keeps me awake at night. So where I was talking about, I think I've pretty much covered the existing horoscope here of Haiti. Well, let's just talk about the transits to Haiti now. Okay, transiting Chiron is 13 Aries. Transiting Jupiter is in Aquarius, and it is square the natal Neptune. That's the transiting Jupiter. Transiting Neptune is trine the natal Neptune and sextile the natal Venus. So compassion and forgiveness by all of the nations of the world would help this situation a lot. Anyway, transiting Pluto is conjunct the natal Venus. Transiting Jupiter is, transiting Uranus is, okay, over here, it's at the bendings. It's square the nodes. So the transiting Uranus is really important here. A change must be made. A change must be made. Mercury, Uranus, it's not that bad a square. It would be nice if there was some good aspects to these two. It would help it an awful lot. But you just have to work a little harder at being a genius. But it is still a genius aspect. Okay. And our transiting Mars is in mid Virgo. So the transiting Mars is right here. So Haiti needs our compassion and our help. And what's interesting to me, is that when they had that terrible storm and earthquake, and people came in to help and brought them cholera. The aid made them sicker than they already were. So it's difficult. This is a very difficult chart. It's an alienated chart. It's these people are an island to themselves, and they need to be part of the community of the world nations, but they are not. They are not. So that's Haiti. God bless them, and may they survive it and find a decent way to govern themselves. Maybe it would help if they had a new government. Start with a new government. They've been cursed from the get-go, from December 6, 1492 until now. Anyway, I hope you're well, and I'm hoping that you're getting to hug the people you love. The virus is ramping up, so be careful. Be careful. May the goddess bless you. Bye-bye.